Welcome back from intermission, kids. What do you think so far, Percival? We doing all right? Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I made exactly that. We've talked about this before. Rusty Nail is just much too sweet. You might as well just have like some Caro syrup in there, with that Drambuie. I cannot even imagine drinking that straight because it's so sweet and syrupy. But you make a Rob Roy, which a couple of shots of scotch and a shot of sweet vermouth, and you put a little bit of Drambuie in there, and okay, that's what that means. Okay, don't get any ideas. This is Knife of Ice. Let's see if we match up this time. You Coteo de... I can't even read this writing. But it sounds like it might be a little closer. And who's that right there? It's Carol Baker. Evelyn Stewart, Eduardo Fajardo, Sylvia Monelli, George Rigaud again, and Franco Fantasia. That's got to be his real name. Right? We'll look it up. Oh, by the way, in the last movie, that was not Sergio Martino using a fake name. It was another Italian guy using a fake name, Anthony Ascott. Okay. Knife of Ice, a.k.a. See it there in Italian? You pronounce that. 1972 Tritone Cinematographica Mundial film, directed by Umberto Lenzi, starring Carol Baker, Alan Scott, Evelyn Stewart. I didn't see Alan Scott on the poster. Maybe he was at the top. In this, their third outing that I've seen, I don't know what order. Lindsay employs Baker as the mute cousin, Martha, of a famous pop singer, Jenny, played by Stewart. Jenny is visiting Martha in the Spanish Pyrenees, and we open with a very non-PETA friendly bullfight. Jenny revels in the gore. Yeah, she's all for it. But Martha, she's visibly shaken. And if you've ever seen a bullfight, you know why it's like pretty brutal. On the way to the country estate, Martha shares with her father, the maid, and a chauffeur who, by the way, this chauffeur is suspicious as fuck. Usually the butler did it. In this case, I would have put money on the chauffeur. They encounter a strange man with eyes like the galaxy room in my friend Mindy's house. Well, now... Mindy moved out of that place. It was kind of an A-frame cabin up there in the mountains. And so, yeah, I don't know that she has a galaxy room in her new place. Big fancy place right at the top of the hill there. Great for photographs. Lots of sunlight. Windows like 30 feet high. Hi, Mindy. When are you guys going to play again, you and Steve? I'm going to miss that curry, but I'm not going out there if you're not playing. Okay, let's get back to the show. They are a little rattled, but then a dark figure murders Jenny. Yeah. And when the cops note they have a second victim, why, it must be a serial killer. To make things even more dramatic, here we're going into satanic panic mode here. Satanic elements appear. A lost medallion. The same image painted on a tree. The killer's lair, where I think it's the cops determined that a black mass has recently been held. I don't know how they know this. Leftover crackers? I'm not sure. The cops arrest our friend with the freaky eyes. But is he the killer? Or just a devil-worshipping dope fiend in the wrong place at the wrong time? It almost seems too simple, doesn't it? Now my eyes are tired from blinking. I didn't like this one quite as much as A Quiet Place to Kill, which is great, or Orgasmo, which we'll get to. But it wasn't terrible by any means. There were a lot of suspicious folks throughout, and at the end, what I thought would happen didn't happen. And that's par for a Giallo. That's exactly what should happen. And once again tonight, a second 1972 film, 3 rings. 2 3-ring circuses in a row. All right, Mr. Peacock.
Yes, well, it's Peacock, if you must know. It's Peacock. There you are.
Let's get in the bucket and see what we can find. I won't look. I'm going to look up here. Not at that bright ass light, though. Oh, I got 2. We'll narrow that down pretty quickly. What do you think, Monkey? Those going to do the trick?
I can imagine with this one.
Yeah, we're staying in the same general era. Not necessarily giallo, but horror from the same era. I know we're covering a lot of horror films here. I told you I was going to try and get more exploitation in the bucket. But you know what? I'm lazy. And when it comes to like me putting a DVD in the DVD player and switching everything around, or just streaming something off Tubi or Shudder, yeah, you know what I'm gonna do. That ice ball's getting small enough to shoot right down my throat and kill me. The night Evelyn came out of her grave, I think is what it's called. And Count Yorga next week on the Late Night Picture Show. Pretty sure we're back next week. Probably going to go see a new movie. I've been seeing some newer movies in the theater, which I was going to go downtown and see these art films, but I got a friend who likes to go see some films. Well, I'm just going to say it. I've been seeing some movies with Sabrina, and she's been wanting to see these newer horror films. And so we saw Late Night with the Devil, and this weekend we're going to go see either the new Omen movie, and I got to get the Omen, the original Omen, and probably part 2 in the bucket there. And something called Abigail. little girl. Not a very friendly little girl. We saw the preview. So there you have it. Going to movies. Seeing new movies that I probably won't review unless they become cult favorites. And I said before that, if I feel like a movie is going to become a cult film, that I'll do it. And I'm not quite there on it on Late Night with the Devil. Very intriguing, a real trip down memory lane for me. And they did pretty good recreating 1977, which I remember well. Sabrina, not so much. But join us next week for the night Evelyn came out of the grave and Count Yorga vampire. I'm pretty sure. Good night, kids.